So I'm Alicia Stobie. This is Mark Willis, CEO of Keller Williams. Thanks so much for taking the time to meet with us today.
My pleasure.
So we have a few questions. The reason I wrote the book, it's how to get approved for the best mortgage for the first-time home buyer. And obviously some of the most important things, I think, in addition to the mortgage, of course, are how to pick a realtor for the most important purchase of your entire life.
Right.
Which I think a lot of times people just get going and they get the momentum and then they have the questions. But really, if they do the research up front, I feel like that's definitely the best way to make them feel comfortable and at ease and help them make better educated decisions.
Yeah. Did you get a copy of our book for the first time home buyer?
I did.
Okay, good.
It's an excellent book. Great questions.
It's a great book.
Mm-hmm.
And you should probably also meet with Jay Papazan if you get a chance. Jay's like a couple offices down, and he is the co-author of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, the Shift book, the One Thing, the First Time Home Buyer book, the Flip, all the books. So Jay would be a great one to talk to.
Excellent.
And Susan can walk you down to his office.
Perfect.
After
Great.
we finish.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you.
And you've done really well in the mortgage industry.
I do.
I read your bio.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
I love serving my
Congratulations.
clients. Thank you.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's such a service to be able to help somebody buy their first home or their investment and help them create equity and wealth, or if they just want to have a place that they love.
Are you in Vancouver?
I am not licensed in Washington currently. I'm actually based in Florida and then have a large client base in the Mid-Atlantic.
Mm.
So I serve a lot of veterans in the Mid-Atlantic and then in Florida as well.
And what's the name of the company that you're with?
I'm with Van Dyke Mortgage.
Van Dyke. Okay.
We actually have several partnerships with Keller Williams in Florida.
Okay.
Laura Lynn Ball's our vice president.
Okay.
We have three of them, and I think she has partnerships with. She does have one in Jacksonville, and she has several: Tampa, South Florida, Fort Lauderdale with Keller Williams. So,
That's wonderful.
yeah, she goes to her family reunion every
Yeah.
year.
Have you been?
I haven't been yet. It's next
Maybe
on my
you'll
to-do
go in
list.
Orlando this year.
Yes, I think that's going to be pretty close to me. So
Right.
I would love to.
Easy one to get to.
Maybe I'll join up with Keller Williams.
You should have your license by then.
If you could just share with me, what are some of your guiding principles for customer service?
So we, I always go to whatever we do in Keller Williams. We have Y4C2Ts, and it's an acronym that we use that stands for win-win or no deal, integrity, do the right thing, and then we have 4 C's, and the first C is always customers come first. And then the other 3 C's are communication, seek first to understand, then to be understood, commitment in all things, creativity, ideas before results, and then 2 T's, teamwork, together everyone achieves more, trust. A healthy relationship begins with honesty. And the S is success, defined as results through people. So I'm just going to pull the first C out of that and say customers always come first. And we should always put, and always do, put the needs of the customer, the client, ahead of our own needs and our agenda and what we want. And so in selecting a realtor, I think finding one that will always put the customer first is the most important thing.
Excellent. And how would you suggest that our readers find the best realtor for their needs? What are the resources? I mean, I know everybody can go on the internet and search. What are the criteria they should be looking for?
I think the best resource is always to talk to others who've used a realtor and find out about their experience. And then look for someone with whom that connection occurs and the trust is implicit, and that fiduciary responsibility of putting the client first.
Excellent.
There's so many ways to find a realtor. You can go online. You can go to an open house. I mean, there are hundreds of different ways to find a realtor. You can call an ad. The thing I would suggest is that any client that ever connects with a realtor should look for a realtor that takes the time to really understand their goals, what they want, and their qualifications, what they're capable of buying. I think so often, particularly sellers select realtors that will tell them what they want to hear rather than what the truth is. And, in our industry, there are agents that really understand pricing and really understand marketing, and listening to that, and not just going for the person who tells you what you want, but going for the person who gives you the best advice about selling your home or buying a home, who puts you first and has the courage to show you what that is.
Mm-hmm. That's excellent. Yeah, I'm sure you can understand in my position too. People don't always want to hear what they really qualify for, but you have to tell them the truth, or they're going to go down that road and expectations and disappointment.
Exactly. And I think that's something that all consumers should be aware of, and they should value and appreciate a realtor that's going to give them the advice that they need for the transaction that they're doing.
Excellent. What do you think are two mistakes that people make when selecting a realtor?
I think the first mistake is that people sometimes deal with a family member or someone that is not the most well-equipped, a very close friend, that they feel an obligation to, that may not actually be the best equipped. And then when personal issues, it's easy to be neutral about business issues, but when it becomes your home purchase, we lose that neutrality that we need. And I think sometimes we go and use the person who we think we're supposed to, rather than the very best person for the job. And I'd say find the person who is the best for your needs, in the same way you would if you went to a medical professional, or you would do if you went for legal advice. You wouldn't choose your friend, you would choose the one that would give you the very best possible service.
It's an excellent analogy. Makes it crystal clear. A lot of people wouldn't see that. Thank you.
Sure.
How about a few, you suggested a few ways for people to find the best realtor to meet their needs. Are there any action items? Do you have a checklist perhaps, or some suggestions that they go down?
I think that for me, I always look for the most well-informed agent in that particular area. And that doesn't mean that you have to have someone who just specializes in that area. It means that you have to have someone who's very well-informed and somebody who's going to put your needs ahead of their own.
Excellent. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the word mortgage?
Opportunity.
That's a great one.
I mean, it's the way we buy homes, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's a gift. It's something that makes this whole process of home ownership possible.
It would be quite different if we had to rely on cash only.
That's right. And then I have gratitude for the fact that, our interest is deductible. The fact that a mortgage actually makes, in today's market with interest rates what they are, makes buying a home more affordable than leasing. I think that's all opportunistic. And it's what makes this process possible. So gratitude. Have gratitude for the mortgage industry.
It's a great word.
Appreciation. Without it, we wouldn't be what we are.
That's true.
And I think all Americans need to understand that we're privileged. We are very privileged as a nation of people to have the kind of infrastructure available that makes homeownership available without having to make a huge down payment, with the 30-year amortization schedule that makes housing affordable, for interest rates that are, hovering around 4%. My goodness. And see, I've seen interest rates go up and down. I sold homes when interest rates were 16%. I remember one time, I had a seller that paid 24 discount points.
Oh my goodness.
Can you imagine that?
I don't know if the government would even allow that.
No, I don't think.
I don't think that's a QM mortgage. That's for another time.
Right. But remember 3-2-1 buy downs?
Oh, yeah.
All of that.
Yeah.
We used to, or we would go take our discount points and we'd go, from 13% to 9% on a fixed rate. I remember one time I went from 13 to 9 for a fixed rate mortgage for a buyer's 24 points.
Those points are
And then they
tax
probably
deductible.
sold the house. In fact, I know they did like 3 or 4 years later.
Oh wow.
But they were able to sell it because they had a non-qualifying, non-escalating assumption.
That's a great mortgage
And that-
tool.
That's not there anymore.
There are a few with a assumable, but they're far
Not many.
between. Yeah. Great. If you can't pay cash, why do you think getting approved for a mortgage is important before you go shopping with your realtor?
Well, the security of knowing what you can do. Setting expectations, like we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Giving a framework for you have to have parameters. So it gives you parameters for what's possible.
Excellent. Do you think there's anything I've forgotten to ask you? Words of wisdom you would have for first-time home buyers, or somebody who perhaps hasn't bought since, let's just say, in the last 6 or 7 years?
I think that the three things I would point out is that anything you can do to inform and set expectations, anything that you can do to help people remove the fears, because I think people have fears, particularly given the market that we had for the last 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we've got a huge housing shortage ahead of us. We've had population growth. We have not had the expansion on new home starts that we need to support that population growth. And I truly believe that there's a lot of opportunity for anyone who buys a home ahead. The last thing would be, if you look at appreciation over time, nothing beats buying a home or buying real estate. Nothing, no other investment over time will win out over real estate.